Hi there, I'm Becky from Nomadic Knits, and today we are going to review the stitch from section 4 of the Knitmas in July knit along. And we're going to be working a couple of different stitches to create the overall motif, but I guess I should just generally refer to this as the flip-flop section. I'm sure there are plenty of other names that this stitch has been called, but since we're doing Knitmas in July, I thought that flip-flop was appropriate. So this stitch is worked over 6 rows, and it begins on the wrong side of your project. So I've worked up this little swatch, and you can see that this is the wrong side. We're showing the back side of these shell stitches that we worked on in another video. So we're going to begin this stitch with the wrong side, and I'm just going to work through it so that you can familiarize yourself with the different techniques that are used. Now, because this is just a swatch and not the pattern itself, I have worked it up so that I can have 2 knit stitches on either end of this, so don't let that throw you off. Be sure to follow your pattern. This is just so you can familiarize yourself with the stitches that may be new to you. So we begin working this, like I said, on the wrong side, and you'll see instructions that say purl 1 or P1W2, which stands for purl 1 wrapping twice. So I knit those first 2 stitches just to give us a little border on our swatch. I bring my yarn to the front because I'm going to purl 1 wrapping twice. And just as if I was going to purl, I wrap it, but I do it twice. And then the instructions are to purl 3. And that is the repeat that we'll be working across our project. So purl 1, wrapping twice, and purl 3. Purl 1, wrapping twice, purl 3, and this will be our last repeat of that will fit on this swatch. P1W2, which is the purl 1 wrap twice, and then purl 3. And we'll just knit those last 2 stitches. And in the Knitmas in July 2025 pattern, this is where we add in our contrast color. So I'm going to grab this bright pink again because it's nice and easy to see. And we'll begin working the next right side row. And we'll get our edge stitches out of the way. And this next set of directions is going to coordinate with the previous rows. They all build on each other for this 6-row repeat. And it calls for us to knit 3, and slip 1 with yarn and back, dropping wrap. Now we're slipping this purlwise, our yarn stays in the back, and we're dropping that extra wrap. We'll knit 3, slip 1 with our yarn in back, 1, 2, 3. We're slipping it purlwise and dropping that extra wrap, 1, 2, 3, and slipping this last one and dropping the extra wrap. We'll knit those edge stitches. Turn our work and work back on the wrong side. So now we are going to slip 1 with the yarn in front. And you can see that this is that slip stitch and the yarn was held to the back on the previous row. So to slip that with the yarn in front, that means the yarn in front of your work, you have to bring it to the front and slip this stitch purlwise. And you're going to return it to the back so that you can knit the next 3 stitches. Just bring that around so that we can slip 1 with the yarn in back, knit the next 3 stitches. Slip 1 with the yarn in back, and make sure you're bringing that back around to continue with your knit stitches. Oh. I got a little ahead of myself. I only knit 2. There, now we've knit 3. We'll slip 1 with the yarn in front, bring that yarn to the back, and knit 3. Okay. We're back on the right side, working our edge stitches. Now we're going to knit 3. This is probably starting to feel like there's a theme in it, right? Hopefully you're starting to see this pattern appear. So we've knit 3. We're going to slip 1 with our yarn in the back, so we get to just leave it there. Knit 3, slip 1 with the yarn in back, knit 3, slip 1 with yarn in back, and knit 3, slip 1 with the yarn in back. We'll finish up those edge stitches. We're back on the wrong side. Doing our edge stitches. And we are going to slip 1 with our yarn to the front of our work here. Remember to bring it to the back for your knit stitches. Slip 1 with the yarn in front, bring it to the back to knit the next 3. Slip 1 with the yarn in front. And the reason this matters is because we need that slip stitch to be free on the right side of your work so that you can create the motif that we're going for. So we've slipped that with the yarn in front, bringing it around to the back, knit those last 3, and knit our 2 edge stitches. Okay, And that is where we switch back to our main color. Now you can see that we have these elongated stitches spanning the length of those 2 garter ridges that we've done in our contrast color. And this is what I was referring to when I was talking about the importance of, holding your yarn to the wrong side of your knitting as you slip those stitches, because they need to be free for us to actually make the flip-flop happen. So we'll add I shouldn't say add, we'll return to our main color here. And then this repeat will look like a knit 3 flip-flop, knit 3 flip-flop. And the FF in your pattern is what stands for flip-flop. And so we will knit these first 3 stitches. And to create the actual flip-flop, we're going to drop our stitches off the needle, which I know can be a little intimidating sometimes. But the nice thing about these ones is that they are nice and elongated, so there is less chance of them slipping away and falling back into your project. So I like to just pop them off the needle when I slip them. And you can use a cable needle if you like. If you'd like to use something like this to hold that stitch for you. I find that it makes it a little bit more difficult for me, but you may not feel that way. So do whatever makes you comfortable. So we've dropped that first stitch off to the front of the work. We're keeping our working yarn to the wrong side of the work, and we're going to slip the next 3 stitches purlwise. And then we're going to drop this guy as well. So now that these guys have dropped off to the front, we will pick up that first stitch with our left needle, slide these 3 stitches back to the left needle, and you might be able to pick that up with your left needle, but I like to grab it with my right needle and place it back on my left needle. It just seems a little bit easier. So you can see now that that second elongated stitch has crossed in front of the first one. And we are now going to knit these in their new order. Oh, I somehow got that stitch twisted. And there you can see that we have this really fun little crisscross stitch. So we'll do that one more time. Knit 3 and then flip-flop. So to flip-flop, we drop this stitch off to the front of our work, keep our working yarn in the back, slip 3 stitches to the right needle purlwise, and drop off that second elongated stitch to the front. Scoop up the first one with your left needle, slide those 3 stitches back to the left needle purlwise, and then grab the other elongated stitch to put it back on your left hand needle in the new order. And now you're just going to go ahead and knit those in that order. And now you can see we have this really fun little pattern. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you don't let it intimidate you. Just take it one row at a time. Take it slow. You've totally got this. As you can see, it is just a series of simple stitches that when you build them on one another, you get something really fun and different. Happy knitting!